Hey guys, what's up? It is the Chinchilla Notebook here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be on how to find the right chinchilla sitter for you. So I know I've done a couple of videos recently that have been on traveling and leaving your chinchilla and how to leave them with somebody who can take care of them properly. So today I'm going to be talking about the qualities that a chinchilla sitter needs to have. And obviously you don't have to follow these. You never really have to follow what I advise you, but these are just some qualities that I found will give your chinchilla the best opportunity to be taken care of while you are gone. We do travel a lot, and especially during the summer months, so it's good to have somebody to rely on because you can't always take your chinchilla with you. Most of the time you don't, and I don't recommend that you take your chinchilla with you everywhere, so these are just what you can do when you're out of town and you need somebody to take care of your chinchilla. So the first quality in how to find chinchilla sitter is to find somebody who is obviously available and who has the time for them throughout their day. I usually have someone, if anybody comes in, they usually come in, the ideal time is once a day, and they just come in for like about 20-30 minutes, interact with him a little bit. I try to get them to let him out for playtime, but most of the time they don't want to do that, so as long as you can just get somebody to come in and just interact with him for just a little bit, that's really important. It's kind of hard to find people who are available, like they have time in their schedule that allows it, but you don't want somebody who's incredibly busy and that things pop up for them all the time, because then your chinchilla can really become forgotten in their minds. And yeah, you just want somebody who has the time to do it and who also isn't going to have to like sacrifice their work or their family or their school, whatever it is, to come find your chinchilla. So that's kind of the first thing that you look for in a pet sitter, that they have the time. Well, I wouldn't say it's most important, but it's probably one of the first things. The next thing is somebody who is obviously trustworthy and responsible. You are leaving pretty much the well-being of your pet in their hands, and it depends on how long you're gone too, but the longer you're gone is the most important. You want somebody who is responsible and who you can trust. And it's going to be a mature person. They're not going to mess around. They're going to communicate with you about your chinchilla and what's going on and everything like that, and who you can trust with them too. Another thing, and this is something that a lot of people don't actually think about, and that I certainly didn't think about, but now I have learned from my mistakes, is make sure whoever this person is, they know fully what they're getting into and that they can deal with gross things like poop and pee. I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty obvious you're dealing with an animal here, but some people don't think about that kind of stuff, and when they come and they have to clean Merlin's liners and they smell like pee and they have to like clean the pee off the pans, they get really grossed out. And I was like, well, is it really that surprising? Because, I mean, it's an animal, but you'll be surprised. Some people really don't think about that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're going to have to sweep up poop, and chinchillas make a lot of poop, if you guys didn't know, and sometimes that can really gross people out. It doesn't really gross me out anymore. I never touch his poop with my hands, but it does gross people out to see a bunch of what you would initially call mouse or rat poop. Some people find that really gross. So that is another thing. You want to make sure that this caretaker knows what they're getting into and that they are going to be okay with the pee and the poop and all that kind of stuff. Because you don't want them to come and then just not clean the cage properly because they don't want to, you know, touch all that kind of stuff. And it's not necessarily that you touch it. You can wear gloves, and I have like a ton of cleaning products and like gloves over there, but people just don't like to be around that stuff sometimes, so just be prepared for that. The next thing is somebody who has a familiarity with your pet. For example, they know your pet, they've spent time with them in the past, and they kind of have been around animals. Somebody who's never owned any animals, is not really around them, who has never seen your chinchilla, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, can you come take care of them? That's not really good. You want them to have a sort of familiarity, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, with your chinchilla. It's just, you know, it's just smart to have that so that they know your chinchilla, and they also know how you operate a little bit too. This kind of leads into the next thing, which is to have knowledge about chinchillas. I'm not saying they need to be as educated as you are. Where are you hiding? Because obviously my caretakers are not, because they don't own chinchillas, and some things you can only know once you're an owner. he's eating his house again. Have a little bit of knowledge about chinchillas is kind of important. You want them to at least know, like, you know, for example, when you look in their cage for things that they messed up, you want to be able to check, oh, hey, is the water bottle not working? They need to know how a water bottle works. And if they tap it and no water's coming out, it doesn't work. And they kind of need to know that kind of stuff. So you can totally tell them. They don't need to be educated for years. You can, you know, tell them a little bit before they come, but just make sure they know what they should be looking for and what they should be doing. So that also comes in with knowing your pet a little bit and having a little bit of experience with animals. And then lastly, one thing I really want to say about pet sitters is that I don't know what age they are, I don't know who they are, but when you let out your chinchilla, because it's really smart to have a caretaker who is comfortable with letting them out for playtime. That's a big part of, you know, being a caretaker when you're gone, especially for a long amount of time. If your caretaker is not comfortable with trying to catch a chinchilla, or they don't know how to catch them if they get loose, because it's always a possibility, and then it's probably not a good idea to have them let them out or to be their caretaker, because if an emergency happens like that and they just jump out of their cage and you don't know how to catch them, or you hurt them while catching them, that's no good, and you want to make sure that your caretaker knows how to do that. So, and as always, leave your caretaker with emergency contact information. I leave the vet and me, but I always try to tell them, try to call me before you bring Merlin to the vet, because, you know, I want to know what's going on too. And yeah, Merlin's never been injured or sick, so I've never had to take him to the vet. These are just some of the qualities that you want to find and to want to have in a pet sitter when you're looking for them. So yeah, basically who you can ask: family members, friends, best friends, because obviously you trust them probably the most. If you are going to be gone and you have people in your family, if just you and you have like your mom, your dad, your siblings, you could ask them. You could even ask your neighbors. That would be really easy because they're like right next to you. But just make sure you don't go too desperate and just start asking everyone, like random people. You want somebody that you can actually trust and who has these qualities. So that is pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and, you know, got some information out of this. I know I've been doing a lot of videos on this subject lately, but it's just something that people have actually been wondering quite a bit about. That's it.